Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, the little Babble. That was me on this revolutionary rise of an uprise at this time. Oh my gosh. I think I found it. Alright, so this is video number 2, guys. If you are checking me out now and you're watching this and you do not see video number 1, know that I am just going to continue from wherever it is that I think I remember I left off. Because I know that I leave a lot of cliffhangers and everything that I share and babble through, because there's so many babbles babbling through, and I have to start some of the conversation too, and so sometimes I don't even get to finish the conversation that I started because another babble comes on in, and then I start that, and then I don't complete that, and that's why I ask you guys that if you are tuning in and if you are enjoying any of the material, all of the material, and if you're not, then keep it moving, find something that you do like and people that you do like, and just thanks for stopping by. You're so adorable still too. Okay, goodbye. Or if it is your kind of thing, or you're just intrigued and maybe don't get it, these are your opportunities to further expand on your lens. And like, we are developing the new bridge. We are on the bridge that is new, building Babylon. Babble, building Babel from scratch. So those kindred spirits that are connecting and supporting one another, even if it's from a distance, even if it's from like different parts of this world, but technology has gifted us the opportunity to be able to zap. Here we have a whole worldly support system of kindred spirits that we are connecting with on a soul, mind, body, heart level. That is so, what? I'm not alone anymore. Okay, even if we don't speak, we know that we creep deep into our physique, and we are on this evolutionary rise, revolutionary, and we're each happening and doing it from our own timelines. And so each of us gravitate, marinate, and manifest into existence where we are ready and part of on our journey. So like, I always tell people, like, even prior to even doing YouTube videos, whenever people have found me, like, I've been guiding people since I was little, like, and it's not about, that I know better or do better, because trust me, we all make our own kind of mistakes, and it doesn't make you perfect or exempt from experience of life. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the ability that everybody has a purpose, a dialogue, an inner connect system that is their contribution. Whether you share it with others or not, it's your part that you play. So I've always been like a database system, like a scientist. I've always called myself like a scientist. I'm always doing my own case studies and just observing, because that's what scientists do. They observe things, because as spiritual as I can be, I was always very much skeptical. So just because I had my spiritual type experiences, which is what has created my belief, when other people would claim to, I didn't go with all ready eyes and ears and like, I'm an empath, so I'm feeling you out to see what you're really about, like scanning for genuine, authentic encounters with souls that were deep. And for most of my life up until now, which is what I was talking about with my cousin and my daughter, that I didn't even get to finish in video number 1. So if you were watching video number 1, I'm going to finish that cliffhanger from video number 1 now. When we were talking about, they were talking about, these are the rainbow children, when I was talking about rainbow children, they're noticing and they're so amazed at how many people are waking up today. And that's amazing. And we were talking about it, and I was saying that, like back in the day, even though it's like, I'm as useful as can be. When I was in elementary school and I was talking like this, because I've been talking like this since forever, even though I have friends and I wasn't like, outcast in that kind of way, the kids had jokes. Junior high school, I was known as the Astro Queen, because I knew everything about astrology up until that point. For people that knew nothing about astrology, there was no internet stuff like that either. So this was literally all self-knowledge taught things that I was finding from books, because I didn't have toys, but I had a library. And I had experiences that caused me to go to that library, find stuff that I'm like, whoa, this is happening to me. What is this all about? So when I was little, I was very interested, and I read a lot about ESP, extrasensory perceptions, and just a lot, and UFO, alien kind of stuff, like, you know, and then, you know, stumbling into just numerologies. I was into numerology and astrology. So elementary, junior high school, by high school, forget about it. Doing always card readings for my friends, like, you know, behind the scenes, because it wasn't an open practice. It's not like how now I go to a restaurant and I pull out my tarot cards because I don't care. Like, I'm doing a pop-up tarot right here in the middle of a fucking fancy restaurant. Mind your business. Stay your lane. You want me to pull a card for you too? Good energy here. Joy, folks. You know? So, the fact that even I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it even in the Hollywood industry, even though some of it is a little, you know, be mindful, guys, and don't get too fooled by theatrics and stuff. But whatever, I say it like this because I'm not here to judge. Whatever brings you to it, bravo. To that brung you to a new type of woke that will unearth you in your own development, based off of your own components and systems. And that is evolutionary. And that is the only seed that we need to ever breed, is the fact that we produce the seed, set it out. That's what this alchemy is all about. And then allowing that to germinate, to marinate, to cook, to finesse, to grow, while you continue seeding your souls, or sowing your seeds, and being open to the expansiveness of these levels of quantum things. Be open and happy and excited for the discovery, letting go of whatever expectation you think you should have or want to have. Just hold on to the excitement that creation and being a co-creator with your universe brings to you when you are in that kind of alignment. Think about it. If you're in full alignment, doing what you're doing and staying your lane and growing and expanding in this kind of way, and letting go and understanding that you're not exempt for certain kind of challenges or things, but that you in alignment are divinely guided and are woke. So you speak and walk in that kind of a line. And so there's nothing that can get you out of that stance. And if there is, then that's something that you need to address, because clearly your foundation shouldn't be shaky. No mofo is going to come up in here, and then they're going to dictate and wave their little around, right? Be like, causing me to go home and frown. Come on now. We've worked really hard for all of this. And it's not to get, again, I had to battle it out with defense system coming from an abuse system. That was my upbringing. Emotional and physical. I used to cry and be like, how is it that I get hit? I'm punished. Why you not just do one? Why do I gotta get hit, which is punishment enough, and still punished? That's not fair. That wasn't the level of abuse. I'm being funny, okay? Because there's a lot of things. It's not okay. If you're one of those parents that whack around your kids because you can, I'm gonna tell you this right now, and you might get upset with me, and you might say, "Oh, that's the discipline. That's to keep them in check and in line." I'm gonna tell you something, and whatever. I'm free to have this opinion, and based off of my own experience and of choosing to go a different route and raise my daughter without putting my hands on her or losing control. It was a double-edged sword. because I raised her to speak her mind and never have fear placed in anything, so that she can grow as she wanted to be, no matter who that was, accepting I am of she, whomever she is. And trust that she is slick with her tongue. And I would look at her and it wasn't fun. Even last night we got into our debate. We have grown in our debate systems. We are mastering our communicate. It's not easy, especially that she's my polar opposite in many dominating signs on our charts, including our sun signs and our moons. Okay? Or is it our risings? Either way, in both Vedic and Western, we're polar opposite each other. And part of our journey together is mastering the alchemy of this leveling of complex communication that exists all around. Because the problem between discipline and our children is the parents' lack of control. To go the easy route and use force and fear tactics and bullying tactics because they can, to rule over a beautiful soul that they should freaking count how lucky for these kind of blessings they truly have for having these beautiful children. I get very defensive, I get very angry, and I do not. Raising my daughter the way that I did, I got a lot of heat. My family too, they were like, oh, you need to discipline her. What does that mean? Should I beat her? Should I smack her silly? Should I call her names? Should I pulverize her? And then it caused me to really go deep and hear some of the things that our children say. I mean, are they wrong? Is that why parents lose control and silence their children? Because they speak a level of truth that the parent is in some level of denial, that doesn't want to hear or address and doesn't know how to at best. And so they are stagnant and stuck on their evolutionary scale of communication, and they here have an opportunity to grow in that dynamic of communication to better foster into our universe and shared existence this leveling of healthy communication, not just for yourself but for everyone. Who better than to grow in our loving, healthy communication with than our children? Are they not deserving of your devotion, compassion, friendship? Or is this ego and they must listen to everything that you say and do what you do? Never mind what I do as I say, not as I do. Or never mind what, don't ask me questions, or the impatience we have for them, or our inability to grow past a stuck block that can be triggered by our children, that'll come up, that based off of our emotional reaction in our conscious state, that should wake us up to whoa, what's going on here? Why am I about to snap on my kid? Why am I behaving in this way? Honestly, anybody that beats anybody, whether it be a child, whether it be their spouse, or whatever the case may be, is a coward, one. Okay, and I know that I'm not supposed to be judgmental, and I'm just speaking very matter-of-factly. I don't judge you and I forgive you. But it's cowardice. I think you're a pussy. You're egoic and toxic, clearly. And you have no control. When I used to get beat, you know why I cried? Not because I felt the pain. When you get hit and you get beat, you become immune to pain. People that are abused or in many different ways tap out. You think they stay there? Even though, yeah, technically you're there. But you tap out. This is where you get disassociation disorders, right? This is where you get personality disorders, bipolar disorders. This is where you get split personalities, right? This is where you get trauma. Because the person tapped out. And so they have yet to deal with their traumatic experience. And so most keep that in. To think about what happens over time. Right? It's going to be different for everybody. It doesn't paint a pretty story. And I'm not trying to even go there in this kind of emotion or vibration. But all I'm saying is, what I used to cry, it's not that I was hit, was how could you lose control that way? Like, is this love? I used to sing a song, always at the top of the stairs in my house growing up, and this song lasted for as long as I can remember, into my junior high school years. I may have stopped in high school. I used to sit at the top of the stairs and sing, "Nobody loves me, nobody cares about me," and I used to take notes. Sometimes everybody ignored me. I had some family members, like my aunt Sonia, she would pass, she'd be like, "Jennifer, you're ridiculous," and chuckle, like that I'm theatrical. Yeah. So, so many people associate love with horrible experiences because the people they have been vulnerable to and have loved or have been left in their care that has mistreated them or hurt them or, deceived them in some kind of way, that when people affiliate love later on, it's a traumatic experience because they're associating their experience to the actual energy that is love. Love don't beat you. Love don't abuse you. And love don't do those kind of things. So I cried because love was absent, not because I was hit. And that hurt. So my fascination for a lot of things in life has always been, why do people do what they do? Why? So welcome. I am a different kind of doctor with quantum credentials. Random page turner because I gotta go. And although people find it easier to imagine the great teachers as gods, we still need to be alert to a kind of catch, to avoid drawing too perfect images which can eventually lead to excessive idolization. But when certain pages from the book of life of the masters are revealed to us, and we see that they, while being human, lived like everyone else, and maybe even made the same mistakes that we all did, then it is possible this will result in a sharp rejection of everything that does not fit into the frames of the ideal picture created by our own imagination. After all, this is precisely why it is much easier for humanity to revere dead gods whose idolized image is embodied in sacred scriptures than the living ones who walk among people and outwardly differ little from them. The first thing I have read when I did this random page turner was the centennial attempt to enlighten the world. It says, before proceeding to our main topic, let us remember the ancient law, which is well known from the writings of Blavatsky, saying that the great teachers should undertake an attempt to enlighten the world once in a century. For this, the masters choose a few most worthy people who have been prepared for such a mission over more than one lifetime. They may act both publicly and not publicly, as well as in parallel with each other, being disciples of different teachers. Through them, the world receives certain teachings of light, philosophical systems, scientific discoveries, works of art, literature, and music. Everything that is able to help the entire humanity expand its consciousness and turn its gaze to the spiritual aspect of life. Alright, so this is getting all technical and stuff like that, but that was what I had read, and that was the random page turner, and that is where I'm going to leave it. If you are tuning in with me, you are a great teacher of many sorts. May you rise in your command, stance, reign supreme in every galactic, quantum, and alignment kind of way. May your mind, body, heart, and soul sing you praise. May you be your own most kindest, compassionate, and gentle companions that accompanies you every wake of a woke, of a sec, of a life, of an expand, of an infinite continuum of whatever it is that we are, when we are, where we are, whenever we are. Beautiful you are. And so, with that being said, I'm going to pull one card to end this. And it's going to be two, because just because this one came out, two, it's freedom and your new beginnings and gratitude. But I'm going to shuffle during our healing, because it's just like I could just turn over every card and every card is going to apply, because that's the alignment of our current stance in our lives, to be so poetically aligned with the divine that we shine. And so you have gifts. Yes, you do. Your gift may even be something that doesn't have to be publicly shared. There are many things that go on behind closed doors that I cherish and treasure that will never be shared with other people, like these personal interpersonal divine connectings that I have, and so many things that happen with myself connect that is precious, you know. And if it comes up in a conversation, you know, whatever, so it be. But you know, to feel these things kind of like so deep, and to allow yourself the freedom to speak and just be, and to align, knowing that, yeah, you may, you know, feel sometimes, you know, alone in the dynamics of stuff. Like that was another thing that I was saying from video number 1 too, like how my cousin and my daughter, we were all having this conversation about how they were so amazed at how many people are awakening, and how I was saying that, you know, the older generation, or those that are in more in my age bracket than my daughters, you know, we come from a time that we were the ones awake and everybody else was just like, so and now there's truth, okay, truth. And so now, due to your work that is worth this evolutionary experience, that you should take a bow, for you have contributed to this somehow on these lands, for all the work that you have done in your standing post. Give yourself a lot more credit. You deserve the most. And so you know, like what I was saying, that truth. She just wants to keep flipping out. So this is the truth. All right. Keep at it. You got this. I gotta go.